Hey, good day, fellow Long Island homeowners. So today we are looking to maximize the sale price of our home when it's placed on the market. So it's a hot market, there's many buyers out there, but certainly we want to capitalize on our investment and we want to attract the right people who are going to love our home the most. That's when we're going to sell our house for the most money possible. So we have a few simple ways to do that. So immediately, the first thing that the homeowner sees is the front of the house, otherwise known as curb appeal. So make sure you hire your landscaper or you roll up your sleeves and you get out there and you trim all the beds, you weed everything. A little mulch is definitely suggested. Make sure that the grass is green when possible, certainly seasonal. And tuck away garbage cans so they're not seen from the front of the house. Make sure shutters are hanging properly. And make sure the front of the house, and as a matter of fact, the rest of the house is power washed or clean. Some of my clients with dated houses go as far as vinyl siding the front of the house, putting some nice new shutters on there, and they invest a little less than $2,000 perhaps to do that. And it really, really comes back tenfold. Curb appeal is one of the number one things that are going to really help you attract the right buyer. Because even before they call their real estate agent, they're driving by your house. So that could be the determining factor as to whether or not they actually make an appointment to walk through the home, believe it or not. So now the secondary thing is when they walk in the home, what do they see? A really good exercise to help you determine what needs to be done inside the home is to invite a few friends over. I wouldn't say invite your best friend over because they're probably not going to be completely honest with you, but invite some friends over and just say, hey, what do you see? What do you smell? What happens when you walk into the house? Right? That's super important. So as a realtor or someone who doesn't live in your house, I'd be able to give you pointers, and I'm very unbiased. I just tell you how it is. But let me share some common examples as to what you may want to do. Number one, light switches. Oftentimes they're dingy, they're cheap, they're dirty just from our fingers touching them all day long. So either switch them out with something decorative or at the very least, clean them and polish them. The receptacles too. Any crown molding, make sure it's polished, make sure it's clean, make sure that there's no dust webs or spider webs or anything like that up there. Super important. Keep in mind, the buyer's eye goes to certain things like air conditioning ductwork, vents, the intake, the thermostat on the wall. All these things tend to collect dust, and very often during our everyday lives, they're missed. So make sure that all these things look either are new, just clean and steady. Windows are super important as well. Again, remember what I said, the buyer's eye goes to these things. We live in the house, so we know where the light switch is. We don't really look at it. We just kind of reach our arm out and we just kind of flip it. But someone walking through your property for the first time, their eyes guide their hands. So they are going to be looking at these things, and it's a first impression. Let me back up a little bit. The front door, super important. Make sure that it's clean. Make sure that it's got a fresh coat of paint if possible. The doorknobs, the handles, all these things are fairly inexpensive to replace or to clean, but oftentimes are just forgotten about while we're living our everyday lives. Also, decluttering. I know you've heard decluttering. I know you've heard depersonalize. I'm not a big advocate of depersonalization. Even over my shoulder, you can see a picture of my daughter. She made me a little pencil cup. But the truth of the matter is I feel like you have to live your home. When someone walks into your house, it's important that they feel like it's a home, if of course that's the product you're selling. If it's an investment property, a little bit of a different story. But they're selling, they're buying a home, maybe their first home ever. They want to feel that warmth, right? So if you happen to be a furniture collector, you've been in the house, 10 plus years or whatever it may be, and you have a couple odds and ends, and it just doesn't match or doesn't fit in, and you're not going to bring that furniture to the next house, I say cut it. Get rid of it now, dump it, play a game with your friends, try to rearrange the furniture in a new, cool way, something that brings really an openness and an open floor plan to the house. In each room, go from room to room to room and do that with the furniture. Kitchens, make sure the countertops are completely cleared off. I mean everything. It'll look clean, it'll look attractive, maybe a nice fruit bowl with fresh, bright colored fruits on there, which is very attractive, maybe some fresh flowers. Again, with the fresh flowers, scent is super important. When you walk into the home, if you have dogs, if you have cats, if you have other animals, whatever, it's an unfortunate part, but there is an odor. You know, I mean, you could be the cleanest person in the world, but other people are going to smell that. So figure out ways to make sure that those odors are reduced to a minimum, if not completely gone. Again, when someone walks through the house, they want to be able to visualize themselves living there. Those pets aren't there, so they can't really mentally put themselves into that house. And while I'm on the topic of pets, if you have dogs specifically, they bark. They tend to be up on the legs. As much as I am a dog lover, this is very distracting to a potential home buyer when they're walking through the property. And I know it can be difficult at times, but try to reduce the pets being in the home at all possible when there are showings. It's extremely distracting. The buyer tends to rush through the process, doesn't really get a good visual or a good feel of the property, and they tend to leave the property without really seeing all the positive attributes. And unfortunately, that buyer might have been the perfect buyer for you, and now they're gone. So here we are. Those are a bunch of ways to actually maximize, very much so, maximize the profitability of your home and the sale price of your home. If you need any more assistance with the marketing of your home or learning the market value of your home in this marketplace, feel free to reach out to me. Certainly would be my pleasure, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.